a video for Tony Rice, but this can also be a video for anyone who has wants to kind of release through their legs, the back of the legs and their glutes, and also release their hips just to kind of get some more mobility in your spine. So I have a little seat just in case, just to show you a variation on there. I've got a towel. If you don't have a TheraBand, I've got your two favourite balls, ding, and then I have a pillow. Mine has a cat, but you don't have to have a cat, you can just have a pillow. I've got my foam roller as well. So you're going to start lying down on your back. So you might want to use your pillow to start, but then you have to take away the pillow. Okay, you know. Okay, so bring your spine into neutral, bring your feet into parallel, and then you just bring your arms relaxed down by your side. So you can just start by pelvic rocks, or just that little sense of tipping the pelvis backwards, letting the spine imprint into the floor, and the pubic bone comes higher than the hip, front of the hips, and then you just release, coming back into your neutral alignment. So just doing 3 or 4 of those as you exhale, tipping the pelvis backwards, and then as you inhale, gently rocking the pelvis back into neutral. So exhale, imprint, and inhale, release. So try and make this movement come from the front of your body. So you're thinking about drawing the pubic bone towards the sternum, and trying to keep the glutes relaxed a little bit. They'll want to switch on a wee bit, and that's fine, but try and bring your attention into doing it from the front. So drawing your pubic bone towards your navel, and then pushing your pubic bone away and rocking the spine back into neutral. Doing 1 or 2 more of those. And then I'm going to get you to imprint the spine. You're going to draw the pubic bone towards the ceiling, and you're going to roll up. Now, we've got the pillow underneath your head, so don't roll up too high. Just bring the pelvis off, softening the lumbar spine. Let the lumbar spine be in a hammock position. So you can hold here, feel length through your knees, and then roll down your spine again, bone by bone, coming back into just that neutral alignment. So doing a few of those, so imprinting, rolling up, just lifting the pelvis off, letting the front of the hips really be melting backwards, tipping that spine backwards towards the spine, or the pelvis backwards towards the mat, and then rolling down again, bone by bone, coming back into neutral. So doing that one more time before we're going to take the pillow away. So you're going to roll down, come all the way back, and then remove your pillow from underneath your head. Just let the head relax down on the floor. Now we're going to tip the pelvis backwards again. You're going to imprint the spine. You're going to roll all the way up to the top. So you're coming up to that position where the pubic bone is still higher than the front of the hips. The front of the hips are melting back down towards the mat, and you're at about the tips of your shoulder blades. So the weight is settling just at the tips of the shoulder blades. So where you should be feeling this is the glutes. If you're feeling it in the quads, roll all the way down, in the hamstrings, roll all the way down again, set your feet a little bit closer in towards your bum, and then tip the pelvis backwards and roll up again. So same position, the weight is underneath the, just in the ribs and the tips of the shoulder blades, and then you should feel it in the pelvis area. So if you're pushing up too high, you'll feel it in the lumbar spine area, so make sure that your pubic bone is higher than the hips and you're not coming up too high. So it's just that work behind the glutes, and then slowly rolling down. So let's do 3 of those, coming back into neutral. Exhale, imprint, and then roll all the way up the spine, bone by bone by bone. At the top, feel length through the front of the knees and that sense of melting back through the front of the hips. Take an inhalation there. And then with the next exhalation, slowly roll all the way down, bone by bone by bone, coming all the way back down into neutral. Taking a breath in, exhaling, imprint, and rolling up again. So really try and work through the spine. So using that articulation of the spine to lift the pelvis up, pubic bone higher than the front of the hips. Imagine the pubic bones being suspended from the ceiling. As you roll down, keep the pubic bone lifted, and then let the spine tip back into that neutral alignment at the bottom. Do 1 more. Exhale, imprint, and roll up. So going through all those 2 moves that we did in the beginning, and then just adding that little extra height at the top Good, we're going to take a breath in there, and then you're going to roll all the way back down again, bone by bone by bone. Alright, so I'm going to grab onto our roller and we're just going to thread it in and through between the legs. So you're going to keep that roller, just the feet are in the same position, and then the roller's just in between your legs and bum. You're going to imprint the spine again, so same thing, you're going to roll all the way up, and then this time, if you can, roll up a tiny little bit higher so that you can just slide that roller underneath the bum. So you want it to be in the position where it's low enough so that you can tip the pelvis backwards and let the lumbar spine hang down into that hammock type position, but it's not so low that when you lift the legs the roller's going to roll away. So you want to keep it down towards the tailbone so that your spine's rounded, but you don't want the roller to roll away. So then pick the right knee up, so the right, yep, hug that into the chest, and then pick the left knee up. So I can feel here my roller's going to roll away, so I'm going to pop my foot down a little bit and roll it back, but I still want it to be low enough so that I can hammock that spine. So that spine wants to be really rounded down towards the floor, softening down here. The right knee is going to stay in towards the chest, and then you're going to pick the left leg up. So the roller shouldn't roll anywhere, but it should definitely not be putting you into hyperextension. So you want it to be rounded. So you want to hold that right knee in towards the chest, extend the left leg up towards the ceiling, or over towards your chest, so you should get a stretch through the hamstring here, just for fun. And then you're going to slowly let the left leg drop all the way down towards the floor. So you can hold behind the thigh if that's more comfortable on your knee. You're going to slowly let that leg drop all the way down, keeping that right knee really hugging in towards your chest. So you'll get to a point where your leg can't really go any further. You should be getting a nice small stretch through, or good stretch, depending on how tight you're feeling today, through the front of that left hip. So you can make sure that you're really hugging that knee in, and then slowly, if you want, you can slowly bend that left knee so that the foot comes down towards the floor, but you're still thinking about that length through the front of the left thigh. So just let that leg hang, rounding the spine towards the mat, making sure that right knee is hugging in. You can hike the right side of the hip slightly, so the right side of the hip lifts up towards the right shoulder, and then you'll get a really nice stretch through that left side, front of the hips. So let's just hold there for a few more counts. Just still feeling that sense of length through that big toe, so feeling that length through the left thigh. Still the spine's in that hammock position. And then bending that left knee, slowly bringing that left foot in, replacing the weight on the left foot, and then changing feet. So the right foot comes down, the left knee hugs into the chest. You can hold underneath the thigh or over top of the knee, wherever feels comfortable. Lift the the right leg up, extend the right leg. You can drop it towards the chest slightly, getting a stretch through the back of that right leg. That spine staying really rounded, and then you slowly drop the right leg all the way, lengthening it towards the end of your mat. You can let the hips twist a little, so the left hip can come a little higher, the right leg is still reaching away, and then slowly bending the right knee, bringing the foot down towards the floor, and then just holding there for a few breaths. So feeling the length through the front of the right knee, so the right knee is reaching towards the mat, the spine is still in that hammocked position. And then slide that right foot in, bring the left foot down to the floor. Now, lift the bum off, roll the roller towards the heel, keeping the bum lifted. Close your eyes, and then slowly roll down the spine, bone by bone by bone. And that should feel really nice and long through the lumbar area. It should feel like the floor is never coming. Then you slowly bring the spine all the way back into neutral. Alright, so let's roll the roller away and bring it just underneath your feet. So while you're here now, let's cross the left leg, left ankle over the right leg, And then you can either keep that foot on the roller and then just push the knee away, so you should get a stretch in that left side of the hip, or you can reach through the hands through, hug the knee in towards the chest. So the right knee is coming towards the chest as my left knee is pushing out. So my left knee is pushing down towards the end of my mat, my right knee is pulling close towards the chest, and you'll get a really good stretch in between up to that left side of the glute. Now, if you're feeling a bit tight through there and you can't reach your leg, you can always use your Theraband. If you've got a yoga strap, that's probably a little bit better, or you can use your towel. So how I'd use my towel is I would roll it up in this kind of position, so it's a nice long band, and then I'd thread it in underneath my leg, cross my left leg over, and then pull in that way. So reaching down through that left knee. So you decide which variation you want, and you can also pop your pillow back underneath your head for this one if you want. Just holding there, and then relaxing, popping the foot back down. Either use your towel if you want. You can cross that over. Oh, what am I doing? The right leg goes over the left thigh, and then, so think about pulling the thigh towards you, then pushing that right knee away. So you'd either do it with the strap, the towel, yoga strap, the band, or just your hand. Thinking about pushing that right knee towards the end of your mat and pulling the left thigh in towards you. Okay, so now hug both knees in towards the chest. Okay, so now we've got the roller there, we might as well do those little nice mobility through the hips. So I showed you this one the other day, Tony, but what you want to do is keep the knees nice and stable, and then you're just going to start by lengthening the foot away on that roller. So you're going to then let the thigh on the right just drop out towards the side, so the knee is now pointing to the right side, and then you're going to bend the knee as it pulls all the way back in, and then bring that right knee back out. So I'm going to actually show you on the left leg so you can see for the video. So you're going to slide the left leg out, you're going to bring the left leg out to the external rotation, knees pointing towards the left, then you're going to slowly pull the knee in, and then you're going to bring it back. So we want that nice, easy alignment. So I think we talked about it flopping out to the side, flopping back, and then flopping back to the centre. So we want it to be floppy in the hip joint, just feeling that leg letting go. So go one way 3 times, and then let's go the other way. So flop the leg out to the side, extend the leg, and then bring it back out to the side, extend and back. And again, if it feels a little bit, not again for today, but again, as I just talked about with you earlier today, if it feels not comfortable, you can always do this movement with just the legs sliding on the floor. And then, so the roller is a bit hard to control, and I would actually slide off so that you're on something that's, so if you have flat carpet at home or a slippery floor, if you've got socks on, that would be nice. I could use this towel because my foot's a bit sticky. So you're going to go out so that it's nice and slippery, and you just get it back kind of, I'm going the other way, out and back, out. And the other side's just stabilising, so nice and stable through that right side for me, and then the left leg is moving. And then let's go the other way. So I actually quite like it on the floor with the towel, so I'm going to do that on the other side. So I'll move my table away with it there. You can have your head on the pillow again, and then you're going to go out to the side, and then pull back. So just keeping the hips nice and stable. So you could use this as like a bit of a core stability exercise as well, just keeping nice and strong through the centre, and just letting that leg flop out and come back. Do I do it both ways? Out and in. I don't know, somebody's talking too much, I can't figure out what's going on here. And then out The next one we can do while we're lying down is you can do your hamstring stretch. So I'm going to show you with, I'll show you with the towel, but you could use a TheraBand. So if you use the TheraBand, you pop it around the foot, just keeping the band nice and tight, just to help with that leg to lift it up. But actually I like the towel because it's kind of less stretchy, so we usually do this with the magic circle, but I'm not sure if you have a magic circle or not. So hips are going to be square. You're going to think about reaching through that right sit bone, and then the foot's in the towel, and then you can pull the towel towards you, lengthening through the back of the leg. So you're reaching through the right sit bone and you're reaching up through the right heel, so you get that really good stretch through the whole back of the leg. So try and keep your spine in neutral here. If it rounds, the leg will be able to come closer towards the chest, but then you won't be getting the stretch from both ends. So you want to really keep reaching through that sit bone, keep the hips square, and let the thigh drop towards the chest. So you're going to relax the leg for a second, and then we're going to do that one more time. So dropping the thigh towards the chest, pushing up through the heel, keeping the hips really nice and square, and holding there, and then letting the thigh drop in. So now keep the leg nice and straight, push up through the heel, and bring the leg back into a position where it's not so much of a stretch in the back of the leg, but it's just up, and then you're going to just drop the foot over the midline of the body. So this is what it looks like. It's only small, you can see from there. So square hips, this hip staying down, and then I'm just going across the midline of the body, so I'll get a good stretch all the way up that right side of the leg over there. And then you can bring the leg back to the center, and then we can go out to the other side. So you can go out to the left side. Now you can either do this like a stability exercise as well, so dropping down through this left hip and keeping that stable so that it doesn't roll towards the left. So you can keep that stable and then just let that thigh drop out towards the right side. So you might want to hold on with the left hand onto the towel so that you can use a little bit of support with the arm. Or you can bend this left knee and hug onto that ankle and let the leg drop out to the side. You might want your pillow under your head for that. Okay, so then the other side, so popping the left foot in, bringing the towel around the ankle, pushing up through that left heel again. So pushing up through the heel, dropping the toes down towards you, reaching through the left sit bone, and then dropping the thigh down towards the chest. But only as much as you can without rounding the spine. So it won't look like this. It'll look more up to the ceiling if you have those hips square, but you should be getting a really good stretch through the hamstring. You can bring that pull out underneath your head. And then relax. So one more, drawing the thigh towards the chest. And then relax. Okay, so we're going to go across the midline again, so bring the leg back into a little bit more major position, not so much on the back of the leg, flex the toes, and then just bring it across the body. So the left hip's going to stay down, and you're just getting that stretch up the left side. Taking a few breaths there, and then bring the leg all the way out to the left side, drop it all the way out and counterbalance with either the left side of the tummy has to stay engaged to keep that right hip down, the right side of the tummy. So making sure that you're not going over with it, you're keeping that there, keeping the knee square, or you can bring the knee in and out. And you can hold on with that other hand if you want some support there. Bring the foot down, bring the leg back up, and then unthread that foot. Okay, so you can come all the way up and around back into a sitting position. So we're going to work a little bit on the bum again and the side of the hip. So you're going to get one of your balls and then just pop it in the fleshy part of your glute. So you could use, Tony, I know you have these balls, but if anyone else is doing this, you could use a tennis ball, but if you had something softer, it would be a little bit better. So this soft ball is a spiky ball. This is called an Eric Franklin Easy Grip ball, which are quite expensive but totally worth it, from Australia. You can also get them at Central Lakes Physio, where but they're imported from Italy originally, so that's why they're so expensive. So they're kind of soft though, like this. So and the spiky, it doesn't have to be spiky, but I like the softer balls, and that will be a whole another different feel. We're just gonna pop it under there while I talk, because otherwise I'll talk forever. So you want to just find a ball that's soft enough that you can relax into it, so it's not so hard like a golf ball or a lacrosse ball. I don't like using those things. I like to use a softer ball so that your nervous system can relax a little bit, and then your tissues will like you a little bit more for that. So you're going to just start on the bum. You're just going to sit there for a second. Just relax as much as you can on that ball. And then you're going to just start doing small little movements away from your original starting point. You can go just any kind of little pattern that you'd like, but just try and go over the whole bum. So if you find a point where it's a little sore, just stop there for a second. If you can, just take a breath in and out, and then slowly roll away. So now you'll notice that when I'm doing this, I'm trying to keep nice and supported through my body as well. So I'm not relaxing down completely. I'm keeping support, so I'm actually using a bit of strength to keep my body lifted. And then I'm just making very, very small movements. So I'm like a snail. I'm really moving really slowly over this ball. The ball's not too hard, so it's kind of manageable. It doesn't hurt so much that I want to get the hell off there straight away. So you're just kind of rolling nice. Come over to the side of the hip where you can feel, so it's the thigh bone, of the top of the thigh bone, the greater trochanter. You're going to stay just behind there, so the back side, the bum side of there, and you're just going to roll kind of around that point. So you're just kind of going to go around the back, and then you're going to go up above the top of that bone, and you can go around the front of it as well if you want. You can roll around the back and just find a spot. You might feel like there's a bit in there. So again, I'm still keeping that support through my shoulder so that I'm not hanging down. If you need, you'll know if you need to do this more, it'll be really painful. So just relax into it. I haven't done it for a while, so I'm not really loving it, but the more it just shows that I need to do it more. So the more you do it, the more you'll enjoy it, maybe. And then roll down to the bottom of the hip. So rolling around, you can roll all the way back. You could even do your little cross-legged stretch there as well. So stretching the muscle while you do. So I've got my right ankle over if you can. Otherwise you can just, if it's too painful, you're just rolling there. Alright, so let's bring the ball over to the left side now. So I'm going to pop it underneath the left bum, and then you're just going to roll on that left glute. So same again, actually we're going to do this on the same that we did on the other side. So you're going to just stop, find a point, stop there, and then you're going to slowly roll along or around, whatever way you want to go. There's no real rules to what pattern you go. You actually want to go as randomly as you can, so you get into some of the tissue, not just the muscle, but then go around the muscle, and all the fibers of the tissue kind of are every imaginable direction. So it's not just one way, so it's good to roll all around. So rolling around the glute, get to the top, get to the greater trochanter, and kind of roll behind it. If you're finding any spots, stop on the spot, take a little breath in, and then hopefully it's starting to release a little bit, and you can slowly roll away from it. So there's no point in rolling really fast and keeping the muscle connected. You want to kind of relax as much as you can onto this. So if it is really painful, perhaps try and find a softer ball or maybe keep a little bit of your weight off there. So if you want to use a little bit more weight, then you kind of direct your weight over top of it, and if you want to use a little less, you kind of I'm using my arm a little bit more to lift my bum off. So sometimes that helps, especially if you're on a slightly harder ball. But yeah, again, if you want one of those softer balls, you can Google Eric Franklin Easy Grip, and they come in a set of 2, which is I think the cheaper option, and it's probably the best. Otherwise, you can get them at Central Lakes Physio in Wanaka. Yeah, okay, so then grab onto your other ball, and then we're going to pop the ball side by side. You're going to grab onto your pillow, pop the pillow there. So ball side by side, you're going to lie down so that the balls are just at the tips of the shoulder blades. So upper tips, lower tips of the shoulder blades, and kind of in between, and then just pop your head down. You can bring the hands behind your head and relax your elbows down so you get a little bit of a stretch through the front of your chest. Bring the feet flat on the floor, parallel hip distance apart, and then you can just bring your elbows into your peripheral vision. So you can start by exhaling and curling your head and shoulders up. You're going to butterfly the elbows as you inhale, the elbows come close together. As you exhale, you open your elbows again, and then as you inhale, you completely lower. So you could do this with or without the pillow. So curling up, closing your elbows, opening your elbows, and then lowering head and shoulders all the way down. One more, curling up, closing your elbows, opening your elbows, and then lowering. Okay, curling up, lifting your head up, lifting your pelvis up, and then roll the balls so that they come a little bit higher in between your shoulder blades. So it's about 1 centimetre from where they were. You can lower the bum down, move the feet away, and then relax the head and shoulders down in this new position. Take a breath there, and then with your exhalation, curl your head and shoulders up, open your elbows. So make sure that you're keeping the core connected as you curl up. The balls will help lift you into a slightly higher position, but you still want to work through the tummy a little bit as well. So exhale, curling, inhale, close, exhale, open, and then inhale, lower. Last one, exhale, curl, inhale, close, exhale, open, and then lower. So you choose, you could do another little roll down another centimetre. I think this is what we did in class today, to only drop the head down and then relax your elbows down. Then do the same little sequence, but I'm going to go straight into rolling down and rolling back. So I feel like I have a little bit of a tightness. Make sure you hold onto your hair and your t-shirt, or have your t-shirt tucked into your pants so that your t-shirt's not going to get tangled up in the balls as you roll in between the shoulder blades. So I can feel on my shoulder I have a little bit of tightness through one side in particular. I'm going to work through there a little bit, so you can roll on one side. Now if this is too hard to control, the ball's just going everywhere, you can stand up and do it against the wall. So you're going to lean the back into the wall and then just work on that side. You can also do a little bit of moving of the arm in this position as well, if it feels good to kind of get underneath the shoulder blade or wherever. So if you're feeling quite nice and easy, you can just roll back and forward on both balls. So if you have a little spot, if you've been lawn mowing or gardening or whatever we do, then you can do that. So now let me just think. We've kind of released through the hips and kind of given you a little bit of a release through the chest. You can do your last one as well, which you could do a little bit of a release through the sternum. So if your back is feeling really tight, you can actually get your towel and roll it up so that it's going to be a little bit supported for your back in a front lying position when you're lying on your tummy. So I'm going to put so I've got my hip bones, I'm going to put my hip bones on the towel, and my pubic bone is going to be off the towel. So my pubic bone is on the mat and the front of my hips are on the towel, so that my back is in a kind of a little bit of a rounded position, so it's not so much in a hyperextended position, just to kind of be a little bit of extra support through the tummy. And then I'm going to pop the ball on your sternum, so on your breastbone or sternum, a little bit higher, not down on your solar plexus, which is right down where the ribs join. You want it on your sternum, which is kind of on your chest, that area. I'm going to pop it there, and then you can just start. So pubic bone off the mat, towel there. So if you're just doing this for kind of maintenance, then you don't really need that towel. You just want to keep the centre engaged. And if you're feeling a bit not so great through the back, you might want to do this with the towel, just to be a little bit supportive. And you can relax your head down, relax your shoulders down, and then you're going to draw your shoulder blades together, and then you're going to relax your shoulder blades away. So drawing your shoulder blades together, and then relaxing your shoulder blades away. One more, drawing your shoulder blades together. You can reach your arms back, you can lift your head and shoulders up just into a nice long dark position, and then you can relax all the way down. So as you glide forward and up, reaching the fingertips back towards the heels, you'll feel that the ball will roll towards your belly button, and then as you lower your head and shoulders, you'll feel that the ball will roll on your sternum towards your chin a little bit. So that's quite nice, or not if you're really tight through the chest. And one more lift, and then lower. Good, so you can roll off that ball and then just have a little relax. You can bring your hands back towards your shoulders, and then you can come up into a kneeling position. So the same as we finished the class today. Bring the hands out in front of you, walk the hands over towards one side, and then reach back through so I'm going towards the left, and I'm reaching my right hand further away as I reach back through the right sit bone towards the back wall. So you're reaching, trying to make that right side as long as you can, taking an inhalation and an exhalation there. Just trying to expand the lungs on that right side. Walk the hands back to the centre, and then go to the other side, reaching the left hand away, reaching back through the left sit bone, and taking the breath into that left side. Coming into your 4-point kneeling position. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, rounding into your cat, taking a breath in there, shifting back into your angry cat position. Now this is important, unraveling from the tailbone to the sternum, nice wide sit bones, releasing your posterior pelvic floor, coming forward into a 4-point kneeling position again, and scooping and rounding, shifting back, coming into neutral, and then coming forward. One more, scoop and round, shifting back into neutral and forward. And then hopefully you feel nice and stretched out, and at least I can hear Sylvie screaming, so it must be time to be done. Okay.